Nothing to see here. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're revisiting the Sharp VC5M6E with the VFD fault. And I got a bit caught out by this because while I was editing, I actually saw the display light up. Really quite bizarre that I didn't see it, but the camera did. So it's on at the moment. See, operate lights on, but we have no display. So let's check it out. Let's crack on. Okay, so cover's off, so let's get the board dropped and just see if we can find any bad joints. Nothing obvious. I wondered if maybe the chip might have some as well, but no. Got no bad joints, so yeah, I mean, let's have a tap around and just see what happens. Okay, so we've powered it up, so that's on.
Just to prove we have got power. That's fine. Let's tap on the power supply.
What made it come alive? I mean, I am wondering what this actually does, whether this is a DC-DC converter. But it's just so weird how it just suddenly came to life and then went dead again. Okay. So I suppose, I mean, next thing to do, I guess, is measure voltages and just see what voltages are actually missing, whether they're missing the heater voltage or like the minus 30 something, probably 36, 37 volts on the panel. But that's really weird. How it sort of came up just for that brief few seconds before I turned it off, and then never came back on again. And somebody did actually suggest maybe it was reforming caps, but I don't think so, to be honest. I just think it must be a bad joint, or I don't know. Really weird. Not looking like a bad joint though, so let's investigate. Okay, so this worries me slightly that this looks to be providing the heater AC. So you can follow the print down there to pin 5, and then from here, so because the two end ones are the heaters, goes down to pin 7. So I wonder if we do actually have a problem with that. Is it going to be like a Sony? Probably not, but there's obviously something going on in there. So yeah, let's check some voltages and just see what we find. Took the power supply out, didn't film it, but I've checked for any sort of bad joints or anything. I highly doubt there are any bad joints, but and I'm right, it's actually pretty good. I have given it a clean. You can see a little bit of residue here and there. Nothing too bad, wasn't full of dust. It just had the usual sort of smearing from heat and dust. So I've cleared that, and yeah, we're looking pretty good. Got some card down there. You can still see remnants of that muck. So yeah, I'll show putting it back together. That gives you an idea of how to take it apart. So yeah, let's crack on. So let's put the power supply back together, and I have to try and remember how I did it. It's part of the reason I record stuff, because you can play it back and see what you're supposed to do, but I think I can remember. So there's this bit of card. There it is, that one. Okay, so we've got an insulating sheet there, which was a bit fun to take off because you have to pull this away from the regulators. So that was a bit of fun. And 2 screws there and there. So put those screws in first, I think. And they're just little self tappers. And then there's a bar that holds the regulators to the which way around this goes. I don't think it matters. So it holds the regulators tight to the heatsink, and also is another point of fixing the heatsink, the panel to the PCB, which is certainly not an excuse to get dry joints on the regulators. But they're not dry jointed, so this machine's been on, at least in standby. I don't think it's had a lot of use, so yeah, but it's been fine. Okay, so now this actually clips in. There's 2 grooves in this plastic assembly. Just slide that in, and there's a little difficult to show. This is actually like a plastic sprung clip. So you push this in, and it feels terrible, to be honest. It's almost as bad as trying to take it out. Not easy to show. It's a bit of a squeeze at the bottom of the whole assembly as well. What's going on there? Too fair? Oh no, we're there. Yep, that's in. Super. So, got the inputs from the. Oh no, that's not in at all. Let's get it past here, because it's sort of quite tight. There we go. Yeah, I have to try and get it fairly straight as you push it in, which is not easy because this is pushing one way and this is pushing the other way, and it's all just going horribly wrong. Okay, so then just cleaning off that mark of the mains noise suppressor capacitor. So then we go that clean as well. What's come out really nice. Cool. Bonus. So get this put back in. And there is actually a slot for the cables to go through. There we go, so the slot in the PCB for the cables to go through to route them nicely. And then we have the fun of getting the transformer assembly in. So it looks far worse than it actually is, he says. So bottom connector on. I sort of quite like the way they've done this. It's quite neat. And then top connector. And then there's 4 big screws and 1 small screw. There's an earthing, a grounding rather. Connector. So that's it. So basically, to take it out, 2 screws there, that screw, lift up the transformer, unplug this connector, then as you lift it up, take out the bottom connector, and then yeah, you can lift out this assembly and jobs are good. So yeah, we are fairly happy that we've got no dry joints here. So I think we need to start measuring those voltages. Let's crack on. Hokey pokey, so we're powered on. I accidentally plugged it in and forgot I'd turned the anchor Solix on. So yeah, it's on, and you probably can't see it because the light's quite bright, but yeah, just to prove we have power. So let's check some voltages. So I'm expecting something on pin 4 here. So we've got, let's just put it so you can actually see what I'm doing. Always useful. So on the pin of this, what I think is a DC to AC converter, I've got 12 volts going in, and then I would expect a voltage out, and I do get a voltage. Obviously I'm measuring DC, or I've got the meter on DC, so let's put it to AC. I'll put it on 40. So we have next to nothing. Now it looks like this is a bit like how Sony do it. So we've got the trace there. So pin 7's the other side of the AC. Then we've got pin 8. Let's go back to... So we've got a negative 7 volts. That seems low. But I don't know what I'm expecting, that's the thing. Not having a service manual is quite interesting. And minus 2.3. So I would say this module, it did actually manage to, at some point, work. Quite weird that it sort of sprung to life while I wasn't watching it, but the camera captured it. So it's nice to know that it is capable of working. I did wonder if the oscillator might be a bit of a problem, because sometimes you can get that if the crystal is bad, obviously the clock chip won't run and you'll get no display. So yeah, I don't know whether this is going to be enough. Really, I need a scope. Yeah, I mean, it says 400, so 398 kilohertz that's running, so that's cool. Okay, I suppose the next thing is take this out and have a look at it. Let's crack on. Oh gosh, that was slick. So this is not like the Sony DC-DC AC unit, insofar as it's not actually soldered shut, it's just a can. And yeah, we should be able to lift it off, hopefully. Oh, there we go. Oh, this looks interesting. So it looks like all of the VFD voltages come from, oh, this little bundle of joy. Okay, so this ain't no Sony, that's for sure. Not a lot going on here, which I am a bit surprised by. How did the VFD come to life all of a sudden? Somebody actually mentioned in the comments capacitors reforming, and maybe that is it. Maybe these caps, they're just bad. They're just bad to the bone. So what do we have? So we've got a 33 microfarad 25 volt one there, and gluey, messy one here. 47 microfarad, 16 volts. Okay, so probably worth changing those. I can test whatever that is, and that is. I wonder how good the transformer is. I mean, maybe it won't suffer the same way the Sony ones do. But it's all very, very weird. The fact that it sort of, like the VFD came to life, yeah, let's just hope it is just the caps. That'd be really nice. But yeah, let's crack on. Incidentally, I'm using this Handskit soldering iron, and it's actually really, really good. I'm really impressed. I mean, I've said this is 500 degrees, which vaporizes everything. It sort of vaporizes the flux and the debrading. But yeah, I mean, it's great. And the reason I bought it was because it had tweezers for removing surface mount kits, but unfortunately the one of the tweezers got damaged, and in straightening it I managed to break the ceramic. Oh, I've got it there. I managed to break the ceramic bond there, so it doesn't sit properly in the tweezers. So went back on I bought it on Aliexpress, and bought a whole load of different tips, and none of them work. They fit, but they don't work because the collar that fits in there is different, even though on AliExpress it says it's the same. So yeah, I'm quite disappointed by that, because this would have been so useful. I have bought another one since. It's a much cheaper, nastier version. It'll be good enough for what I'm doing. It's for the DV Pro cam machine. So I need to change all these caps. I mean, these caps actually test fine, so I'm probably not going to bother with this panel, but I need to do the other panels, and I just wanted a quicker way to do it than using just a standard iron. But yeah, highly recommend it. It's really good, and yeah, it sort of puts my current iron to shame, to be honest. It's really impressive. Let's crack on. So, managing expectations with this iron, I thought it was really good, and then I wiggled the wire, and it goes all over the place. I managed to get 700 degrees Celsius, and then I thought I'd just adhere to the warnings. So do not touch or use soldering iron when your hands are wet or with sweat. Do not use this soldering iron in thunderstorm weather, always good advice. Turn off the soldering iron when leave the site for long, whoever that is. And non-professionals, do no open. I know open nothing. So yeah, top tips there, top solder tips, hot tips. If you wiggle it, you get really hot tips. I don't know. It's just, oh, it could have been so good. I mean, it'll do the job. Let's crack on. So it's the next day, and time to get these caps changed. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so I've done it. I'm still sort of learning the odd oddities of the soldering iron, but yeah, I had it way too hot and then yeah, way too cool, and then it sort of suddenly decided to cool down by itself. But anyway, so it's probably operator error. So yeah, we're done. I have cleaned it up a little bit, but I'm not going to worry too much. I just don't want to damage this. I don't want to put heat and chemicals and stuff around this any more than I have to. So I suppose we ought to package this back up, and we'll just double check my that I've got everything in the right orientation, because there's no screen print on this, of course. So yeah, I'll do that, and we'll pop it back in and see if that's actually done the trick. I'm very intrigued. Yeah. I'm 50-50 whether that's all it is. But anyway, let's crack on. So all done, and yeah, I'll clean it all up in the fullness of time. But this unit, it's at first I thought, yeah, really good. Then we had the problems with the temperature reading sort of going up and down if you move the cable. Well, that seems to have settled down somewhat. Worryingly, maybe, but yeah, it really does do what it says on the screen. It was getting red hot at like 500, which is great for like the doing the can and whatever, and sort of getting a lot of heat in all at once, which is quite useful to do. I mean, obviously solder melts at a lot lower than 500 degrees C, but yeah, it's useful if you've got a large sort of thermal mass that you have to sort of melt solder on. And I'm really impressed. And, you know, I can set it lower and it performs well. And again, this is not my chosen style of tip, but I've actually found it quite useful. You know, you can sort of do 2 legs and then 1 leg and whatever. I did have problems soldering on the ceramic PCB. Well, yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, worked well. So let's give it a try, I suppose. Okay, so here it goes. Let's put some power on it, and we have nothing. And I'm not overly surprised, because I tested these caps, and okay, they've been quite subjected to heat on removing them, but they tested fine. So I think we have maybe a bad connection or something going dodgy with that. Maybe with the transformer. I mean, the chemicals they used did cause issues, and I think that might be what we're up against here. I'm still really confused, because it did start up. I was convinced, change those caps, off we go. But yeah, I suppose we ought to check those voltages. Okay, so let's check the AC, which will be on the ends of the VFD. It's weird because we have something, and then we should have some negative voltages as well. Let's get ground. Oh, 4 volts. So -10, -12. So you see all of that. I mean, I sort of expect those to be higher, to be fair. Yeah, okay, so what do we have going in? Yes, we have 12 volts. Yeah, you see they're all low. 7, -7. -12. They actually seem better, but not enough. So that's heater voltage. Yeah, heater voltage. Then we've got that one, which goes down to that one. It says heater. We've got that one, which is -12, which I think should be about, well, -30 plus. And then that one. Yeah, so it's just not quite performing. It's sort of working, but it isn't. 12 volts in, and the output voltages are quite low. It is odd how that is just not quite. If it had never lit, then I would suspect immediately it's that module, and we have to sort of find a workaround for it. But it did light. It did light up. And that's so frustrating, especially as I didn't see it, and I couldn't play with it and try and work out what on earth is going on. But yeah, I think what I might do is just leave it on for a bit, and just see if it does actually come on. So we've had no luck. VFD has not lit up, but I have found on internet Toko's datasheet for the whole series of DC-DC converters. Quite useful. And you can see here, CPS 5056B. Input 12 volts, then we've got an output 1 of -20, so that was low, and then we've got the AC out of 2.7, so it's trying to work, but it's just not getting there, and that's really quite interesting actually. So yeah, where do I go from here? Okay, so I'm going to leave this one here. It's crazy at the moment for me, and I'm really struggling to do really any repairs and anything at all. So apologies for the lack of exciting content, but yeah, we've got lots more to come, of course. But what would you do? I'd like to try and source one of these and change it and see what happens, but the chances of getting one of these is really, really, well, next to nothing. So I'm thinking maybe we use some sort of regulator modules and maybe put DC on the... I don't like putting DC on the heaters, but maybe that's the way to go. But let me know in the comments, what would you do? What's the best way forward to actually get this VFD working? And yeah, so with that, thank you very much for watching, and a like and subscribe would be great, and hype it. And hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.